Sketch. Got to do a sketch. All right. I know you hate it, Manny, but you got to do a sketch, right? Because Hector, he had so much more success when he drew the sketch. Okay. So now what you should notice in number 1 is my center 0, 0 in number 1? No, it's not. So let's find the center. What is the center of this ellipse? Think opposite. 2, 3. Nice. So I'm going to draw my sketch. Okay. Draw my sketch. And again, where is 2, 3? So 2 to the right and 3 up. Everybody good? The first quadrant is correct. Very good. Miriam, focused? Okay. All right. Now, after I do that, I want you to write down A and B. Right? Remember, how do I get A? What do I need you to know about letter A? It's the bigger number. So look at your denominators. Which one is bigger? 25. Now that's A squared. Okay, remember the denominators are going to be always squared. So what is the square root of 25? 5. Okay, so what is B? Take the square root of it. That's B squared. Is 4. Very good. I know you're amazing. Okay, now, before I start sketching, I need to know what type of ellipse is this. So look at the bigger number, and that bigger number is under what letter? X. If the bigger number is under X, this is a horizontal ellipse. Okay, if the bigger number is under Y, it's vertical. So I'm going to move horizontally with this letter A. Okay, here we go. I'm going to move horizontally 5 units. Remember, just a sketch, okay, guys? Just a sketch. Everybody okay? So I went horizontally. And if you want me to, I can put ordered pairs in a moment, but right now, just going left and right. This distance is 5, right? That's what I just did. Okay, now moving the other direction, my letter B, if I went left and right, that 5 units, how far am I going up and down? 4 units. I guess I did a poor job with my sketch because that needs to be across the axis. Let me go a little longer with my... I'm just going to go a little farther. That's all. It's still 5. Just a better sketch. And this is 4. All right, so here's my ellipse. Ellipse. Okay? Everyone all right? Okay, so now it wants us to find the co-vertices. Okay, what type of ellipse is this? Horizontal. So horizontally is how we would find the vertices. For a horizontal ellipse, horizontally is how we'd find the vertices. So co-vertices means which direction do I need to move? Up and down. So here's how I do it. No, don't say that. Here's what I write. There's the center, right? Which of these numbers is going to change if I move up and down? Of these two numbers, which one changes if I want to move up and down? The 3, the one that's in the Y value, right? That's up and down. So I need to change this 3. This is what I write. I write a little tiny number where I write plus and minus. How far am I moving up and down? 4 units. Okay? So you're going to have 2 answers here. One where it's 3 plus 4, and one where it's 3 minus 4. What is 3 plus 4? 7. And what's 3 minus 4? -1. So this right here, these are the 2 co-vertices. If it helps you to do it on the sketch, right, I can show you on the sketch. Right, here's 2, 3. I'll go back. Don't worry, I'm going to go back. Right? How far am I counting up? Counting up 4 units. So what's 3 plus 4? 7. I'm counting down 4 units. All right. So what's 3 minus 4? -1. So that's where I get these numbers. Again, do I expect you guys to understand this perfectly right now? I do not. It's going to take a lot of practice. Okay? Go ahead, Luke. Question. Great question. Because it wants the co-vertices, With a horizontal ellipse, the covertices are going to go the other direction, up and down. And I always use the lower number, the smaller number, for the covertices. All right, if it asks me for the vertices, I'm always using the bigger number. All right? Covertices will be the smaller number for ellipses. Okay, I'm going to do the next one. Now, the next one is by far the hardest one. Okay, here's why. In number 2, they're asking me to find the foci, all right, which I haven't even talked about till right now. Okay, so let's sketch it. What is the center? -3, comma, +5. So let's plot that. -3, +5. All right, that's -3. Okay, now they're asking us to find foci. Let's write down our A and our B. Remember, A comes from the bigger number. So what's going to be my letter A? 5. Always the bigger number, right, Hector? A is always bigger. And B is 2. Okay? Now, looking at your denominator, 25 is under which letter? Y. So this is a vertical ellipse. So I'm going to be moving up and down for the vertices, which is 5 units. So up and down 5 units will put me on the axis. You guys see that one's going to put me on the axis? You guys see that? No? So right now we're here, right? If I go up 5, right? Up 5 will put me up here. But down 5 is going to put me on the x-axis, right? Because if I do 5 minus 5, I get 0. Everyone good? Okay, now moving the other direction. So left and right, 2 units will allow me to sketch it. Okay, now here's the hard part. I'll zoom in on my sketch. The hard part is we've never talked about foci. Here's where foci are, right, Jasmine? You don't need it out, right? Thank you, Jasmine, so much. Right? For foci, they're always on the same axis as the vertices. All right, so where did I plot my vertices? Right here, right? That's -3, 10, and -3, 0. Those are my vertices. Your foci are on the same axis, but they're just a little bit closer to the center. All right, so notice those green dots I just put on there? Those are the foci. Okay, so here's how we're going to figure this out. This distance, right, that's A. This distance is B, which we've talked about multiple times now. All right, the new thing is, do you see the distance from the center to a focus point? That's letter C. And this is the formula you need to memorize. C squared equals A squared minus B squared. This should remind you of somewhat of the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so let's find C. What's A squared? 25. What's B squared? 4. And this question is going to ask you to round to the nearest 10th. So could someone in their calculator do the square root of 21? Should be like 4 point something. Hit the, is it, what is it?
4.58.
4.58? Oh, you have this, just do the square root. That's the one. Do the one below the one you picked. So 4.6? 4.58 is 4.6? Okay? So to figure out my focus points, I'm going to be moving vertically from my center by adding and subtracting 4.6. So here's how I like to write it. What's the center? -3, 5. Now remember, this is always the hardest part, guys. Which of these numbers is going to change when I move up and I move down? Which of these numbers is going to change right here? The 5, very good. If you move up and down, you're changing the y value, the 5. So I write really small. I write plus or minus. And what's my letter C value? 4.6. 4.6. All right, so I'm going to find two answers. One that it's going to be 5 plus 4.6, and one that's going to have 5 minus 4.6. So this one is going to be 9.6, and this one is going to be 0.4. Again, this is really challenging stuff, so I know it's going to take some time to figure it out. I went in the calculator and I did the square root of 21. Remember to get rid of this square. I've got a square root both sides. Yep. And then hit the button above the enter key. Boom. All right. So yeah, you have to take square to both sides to get rid of that square. Minerva just did it, so if you need help, she can help. Got it? Luke, I'm going to say no since you're in the hallway for like 12 minutes, okay? You can go next period. All right, let's flip over to the back. I got 2 more to do, okay? Okay. This next one says, find the length of the axes of the ellipse defined by this equation. So I'm going to do the sketch again. What is my center? 4 and negative 2. So let's plot that. 4 and negative 2. Okay, what's A? 3. What's B? Is 2. All right, and what type of ellipse is this? Why is it vertical, Manny? The bigger number is under Y. Very good. So this is vertical. So I'm going to move up and down for my vertices. Up and down is vertical for my vertices. So up and down 3 units. So I'm going to go up 3 and down 3, right? So that's 3 units. Yes. Where did I get the 3 from? Can somebody help, Donovan?
Square root of 9.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to move left and right 2 units and make my ellipse. All right. I know, a little tiny ellipse. Now, with this one, it's asking for the length of the axes. And I haven't really touched on this yet. Until right now, there's 2 axes I need you to write about. The major axis and the minor axis. So with ellipses, because they're not circles, you're always going to have either horizontally or vertically, one of them is going to be longer than the other one. All right, now this is actually easy once you know this that I'm going to teach you. The major axis is always the same as 2 times A. The major axis is always the same as 2 times whatever A is. And the minor axis is always 2 times B. So if you can remember that, and that should make sense because A is bigger than B. All right, so the major axis is longer than the minor axis. So in this question, when it says find the length of the axes, it's asking for the major axis and the minor axis. Okay, so what is the length of the major axis in this problem? 6, and the minor axis is 4. Please, please, please ask if you don't know how we got those numbers.
Where did the 2 come from?
Which 2? This 2?
No, the other 2.
This 2, this will always be 2. It's always double whatever A and B are for your length of your axes. Always. One more.
Oh, that's it?
One more. That's it for this because it just said the length of the axes. Now, I am also recognizing that we're not going to have enough time to like practice a ton, so I'm going to carve out probably the first 15 minutes tomorrow to practice this stuff right here. Okay? Okay, number 4, last one. Let's sketch it. What is our center? -4, -4. Always think opposite. Michael, you good? Okay. No stars? Where? Oh, we've only just started, right? It's only day 3. Okay. Well, I think if you like lock in, I think you'll be fine. All right. What's A? 5. Nice, Jasmine. What's B? 3. What type? Don't say anything, Manny. What type of ellipse is this? Why is it horizontal?
Because
On the edge.
it's under X.
What is under X? The bigger number. The bigger number is under X. Very good. Okay. The bigger number is under X, so it's horizontal. So let's sketch -4, -4. So I'm over here. And I'm moving horizontally 4 units. So notice I'm going to be on, why did I say 4 units? I meant 5. Sorry about that. That's my bad. 5 units, because A is 5. Sorry about that. And then up and down 3 units for my minor axis. Here's my ellipse. Now, what's the question asking for? The vertices. So what I do is I write the center. Okay? Which of these numbers is changing if I'm finding the vertices of a horizontal ellipse? Don't say the number. You got to tell me which one, the X or the Y. The X. Here's why. The vertices are always the direction of whatever you tell me it is. Right? So if it's horizontal, then the vertices are going to be horizontal. If it's vertical, then the vertices are going up and down. They always go the same direction as what you label it. Okay? So in this case, this first -4, this in the X value, that's going to change by that A value. So I'm going to write little tiny plus or minus 5. So I have 2 of them, where one is -4 plus 5, and the other one is -4 minus 5. So -4 plus 5 gives me 1. -4 minus 5 is -9.